I'm worried about Forza Horizon 6, but not in an it'll be a bad game way, more in a I won't like it kind of way. It's almost entirely down to Xbox Game Pass. I'm Fail, and here's why. Xbox Game Pass is an excellent idea. You pay a subscription to Microsoft, and in exchange you get about 500 games. Various sites report that Xbox Game Pass has around 35 million subscribers, and understandably so. But for Forza Horizon 6, that's potentially 35 million lost sales. Obviously not all of those subscribers would have bought Horizon 6, and some might buy it anyway for the safety of, in theory at least, owning instead of just renting the game. But it's still a massive audience they'd be missing out on, so they do need to cater to it to make bank. Speaking of which, if you enjoy this video, please consider liking and or subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate it, and feel free to leave your opinion in the comments down below. I read every single one and very much enjoy the discussions. In 2020, Xbox boss Phil Spencer spoke to The Verge about how companies behind the games on Game Pass are paid, and as can be expected and makes sense, a lot of the time it's based on usage, so playtime. Similar to how YouTube decides whose content gets recommended or supported. This could of course be different for an Xbox/Microsoft owned company, but with Forza Horizon being a flagship series for Microsoft, they're probably heavily incentivized to maximise playtime to keep people paying for the Game Pass every month, instead of just finishing the game in 1 or 2 months and then cancelling the subscription. To be honest, I'm convinced that's why weekly challenges and rewards are such a big thing in modern games that absolutely don't need them. Just be subscription services. It's a mentality of players need to come back! Not just to Game Pass, but also to Ubisoft's, EA's, and whoever else's one's subscription. It used to be that a video game was a luxury item, and most people that bought a game felt the need to play it for hours and hours. This meant that eventually you got good at it, and with Game Pass you almost have a TikTok-style dopamine hit of just trying out a new game after new game after new game, and if you're no good at it, you just sort of turn it off and play the next one instead of investing time into improving yourself, which... it's a shame, really. And due to that mentality, the games that get funded based on player times and keeping players engaged need you to instantly feel comfortable with the gameplay, just to guarantee that you stay invested for more than a few minutes. We've already seen this simplification in Horizon 5. You need to acknowledge, though, that it was an amazing step forward in terms of accessibility for people with various physical needs. And combined with Microsoft's, what's it called, the accessibility controller, I think it's called, just brilliant job from the devs on that. But the gameplay! The gameplay! Horizon 5 is the most patronising, dumbed-down, reviewer-friendly game I've ever seen. The first 2 hours feel as if they're designed specifically for reviewers. The progression is so fast-tracked, and the interest of showing off absolutely everything in the game immediately, just for the people who play the game once, write a review, and never open it again. That is who the first few hours of Forza is for, not the people who actually enjoy the games, it's for the reviewers, let's be honest. And that experience is basically what you get if you're game hopping on Xbox Game Pass. Turn on a game, try it out for an hour, or not even an hour. You've already decided if you like it or not, and then you just decide to either keep playing, or just turn it off and never think about it again. You didn't have that luxury if you had to pay for the game. You couldn't just turn it off and never think about it again. Hang on, I wonder if Game Pass is the reason FH5 didn't get a demo like the previous Horizon games did. In a previous video where I compared the Crew Motorfest to Horizon 5, I showed off how easy Forza Horizon 5 is by turning all the assists on so that the car basically drives itself. All you need to do at that point is put some weight on the throttle, or on the W key if you're on a PC for example. The AI difficulty was set to unbeatable, but even so, I got 3 stars in the story mission. I just placed some weight on the throttle and my hands just in my pockets. I did get some criticism for the demonstration being unfair. Of course, the game would be easier to achieve 3 out of 3 stars in if I've got all the assists on, but I've just tried it again. Assists on or off. Driver task setting unbeatable or easy, it doesn't matter. The time required for 3 stars is exactly the same. Honestly, I think Forza Horizon 4 was the sweet spot. It was certainly easier than Horizon 3, which does have some bucket list challenges, for example, that even to this day I find extremely difficult. But you still had quite a few story mode missions in Horizon 4 with the businesses and whatnot, where you had to attempt them 2 or 3 times if you wanted to get 3 stars, and Honestly, I think that's sort of where you want to be. Like, where your average gamer can get it done in, like, 3 attempts. A more experienced gamer in, like, 2. If you can get that balance right, that is perfect. Horizon 5, however. How do you mess up that badly? And that's why I'm scared for Forza Horizon 6. I enjoy the challenge. I enjoy the progression aspect of racing games. I'm sure a lot of you watching this video do too. We want to improve the skill level that we're driving at. And let's be honest, and when FH5 was released, Xbox Game Pass was still young. And it was already affecting, well, the gameplay, the all-important gameplay. In the end, that's what we're not here for the graphics, we're here for, some people might be, but we're here for the game. We're here to play the game, we're not here to look at it. We've got a trailer if you want to look at it. And now Horizon 6 is going to come out, and it'll probably be focused entirely on Game Pass. And, as you can imagine, this means the progression will be even more aggressive than the Horizon 5's. Improving on the ridiculous decision to give us a Corvette, we'll probably get a Bugatti as a starter car. Improving on the stupidly easy 3-star requirements, we'll probably be given one outcome, just telling us, "Completed! Well done! You're amazing! Oh wow, you're such a good driver!" And improving on needing to pay money for cars, we'll probably be given a new hypercar at every opportunity. The amount of wheel spins we get in Horizon 5 is already ridiculous. Like, it is not hard to get cars in this game. It's actually hard to not get hypercars in Horizon 5. And it's going to be worse. It's going to get worse for Xbox Game Pass. But of course, this is me being cynical, but we've already seen it between Horizon 4 and 5. Ranked online, which, to be fair, was quite dodgy, but could have easily been improved, let's be honest, isn't a thing anymore, because apparently a game where you're a racing driver isn't supposed to be about winning? What? And even more frustratingly, some geniuses decided that having split times, you know, the little number at the top of your screen that tells you how far away you are from the car in front or behind, made the game too competitive. So split times, a very helpful feature, a very important part of racing, were just removed. Just removed. We've had them in every other Forza game, but no, they're too competitive. They make the game too competitive. I really wish I'd recorded the part where they said that on stream, but I'm not going back through 20 hours of streams in which various people describe the game as diverse.
Diverse.
Just to find a clip that'll make me want to destroy everything within a 200-mile radius. I'm not doing it, I'm sorry, I wish I had at the time. I haven't really considered it like this before, but when you think about it, Horizon 3 and 4 had some excellent Playground Games maps. So does Horizon 5, but we also have an empty stadium, just empty stadium. That's what you've got. A little ramp in the middle, and that's basically it. With Horizon Realms, you gave us the option to drive around the seasonal versions. There's a Winter Wonderland. There's one with jumps and stuff, that's brilliant. Those would be excellent and hilarious for Playground Games. Why can't we have those? Why do we just have this empty, stupid football pitch? But anyway, the point I was going to make is this. On the airstrip map, there's just a container that if you've got a small enough car, you can just sit behind. No one can get you. You have won. It is over. If you can get a small car behind that box, you're done. It's over. You win. This must have been pointed out countless times and would take about 10 seconds of moving the prop slightly backwards or forwards to solve. But apparently the people working at Forza just don't care enough to do anything about it. There's no other way I can explain that. It just has to come down to not caring. When the Hot Wheels expansion came out, you couldn't go over a certain speed without falling through the track. What's the point of Hot Wheels if you're not allowed to go fast? And just when the game itself came out back in, well, quite a few years ago now, just things were broken. It's just broken. Like, basic functionality is broken. And I'm sorry, but this just all gives off the impression that the people who make the game don't actually play it. It certainly gives off that impression. I don't know if it's true, but that has to be the only explanation. I mean, compare that to the passion you got from the, also owned by Microsoft, Sea of Thieves developers for the first few years of that game being out. The game was definitely in an unfinished state. but it was clear they enjoyed using the product they work on, and therefore wanted things fixed, improved, or added. You don't get that feeling from Forza Horizon. You just don't, and it's a bit depressing, to be honest, as someone who loves the game. There's already enough videos of people, including me, complaining that Forza Horizon 5 feels soulless, or I've described it as corporate and uninspiring, but in the end it comes down to fear, doesn't it? Fear that the franchise I've loved since Horizon 3 will just lose the last of the magic it still has. But let's be honest, Forza Horizon 6 is probably going to be fantastic, in the same way that Forza Horizon 5 is an absolutely brilliant game to play. The quality, the physics, the cars, the graphics, the online experience, you just can't deny it's all just excellent. There's so many things to compliment about Forza Horizon 5, but at the back of my mind, I just can't get over how dumbed down the progression is, or how some absolutely terrible decisions have been made by, I don't know, must be some board of completely detached managers, or just how uninspiring the whole experience is. It's just, that's what I'm scared of. All of the things I personally dislike about Horizon 5, some of which already started peeking out in FH4, coming back tenfold in Forza Horizon 6, now that they're surely targeting Xbox Game Pass users like never before. And on that depressing note, thank you for watching. Please consider liking and or subscribing, and let me know what you think in a comment down below. I read every single comment and enjoy the discussion so much. Thank you, and goodbye.